This show is brought to you by
A ship is grounded in the Suez Canal, and Saudi and Canada resume diplomatic relations. You're watching the Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm Ramia Faraj. A ship has grounded in the Suez Canal, leaving behind at least 4 vessels, according to shipping agent Leth Agencies. Suez Canal tugboats are trying to refloat the vessel named Zin Hai Tong 23. It sails under the Hong Kong flag. The marine traffic ship tracker and Refinitiv data show the ship near the southern end of the canal, positioned at an angle next to the canal's eastern side. Adnoc Drilling has signed a $75 million deal for the purchase of 6 new-build hybrid power land rigs. Hongguo Golden Coast will build these rigs, and they'll progressively enter the fleet from Q2 2024. Adnoc Drilling has ordered 16 new-build hybrid power land rigs year to date. Adnoc Drilling is aiming for an owned rig count of 142 by the end of 2024. Officials say with their fleet growth comes the delivery of decarbonization commitments. Saudi Arabia and Canada have agreed to resume diplomatic relations and appoint new ambassadors. It puts an end to a 5-year rift that severed mutual trade and fueled political enmity between the two countries and international bodies. The 2018 rift between them started when Canada urged Saudi to immediately release a group of women's rights activists. Saudi took offense, and shortly after, it recalled its ambassador, expelled the Canadian ambassador, and froze new trade with Canada. The Lebanese judiciary has banned central bank governor Riyad Salameh from traveling after being interrogated on an Interpol red notice based on a French arrest warrant. After yesterday's hearing, the public prosecutor decided to leave Salameh under investigation, prevent him from traveling, and confiscate his Lebanese and French passports. Salameh reportedly requested not to be extradited to the French courts and to be tried in Lebanon instead. 7 European countries are investigating Salameh's wealth. He's suspected of widely misusing Lebanese public funds. Wall Street's main indices ended lower overnight as talks between the White House and Republican representatives on raising the U.S. debt ceiling dragged on without a deal. The lack of progress on raising the government's $31.4 trillion debt limit ahead of a June 1st deadline has made investors edgier as the risk of a catastrophic default looms larger. The S&P 500 lost 0.73%, the Nasdaq lost 0.61%, and the Dow Jones lost 0.77%. Meanwhile, Fitch has warned the U.S. that its perfect credit rating could be jeopardized if it fails to raise the debt limit. Fitch placed the country's AAA-ranked credit on Rating Watch Negative. It says the move reflects increased political partisanship that is hindering reaching a resolution to raise or suspend the debt limit before June 1st. If an agreement isn't made, the government will run out of money, triggering a default with devastating economic consequences for the U.S. and potentially the world. Beijing's restrictions on American chipmaker Micron in retaliation to sweeping U.S. chip curbs marks a major step up in its response to Washington's pressure. Analysts say it could open the door for further measures in the geopolitical standoff. China on Sunday banned the use of Micron's chips in critical infrastructure projects. Beijing says it poses major network security risks that could affect national security. The move marks a significant shift in China's response to U.S. measures that have targeted the country's tech sector. Meanwhile, state-sponsored Chinese hackers have infiltrated critical U.S. infrastructure networks. That's according to the U.S., its Western allies, and Microsoft, who say the hacking campaign called Volt Typhoon started in mid-2021. Volt Typhoon is aimed at disrupting critical communications infrastructure between the U.S. and Asia region during future crises. Microsoft says the hackers intend to perform espionage and maintain access without being detected for as long as possible. Microsoft's statement coincided with an advisory released by U.S., Australian, Canadian, New Zealand, and UK authorities. I'm Ramia Faraj. This is the Daily Brief. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.